Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya and welcome to Let's Talk. Today we have with us Scott Sanchez, Chief Marketing Officer at Harness. Scott, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Since I think this is the first time you and I are talking, so I want to know a bit about Harness from you. We do cover Harness here regularly, but tell us, what is Harness all about? What do you folks do?
Yeah, thanks. So Harness is it's an end-to-end software delivery platform that really helps organizations modernize how they think about software delivery to get the code from their developers into production with velocity, with confidence. And we use machine learning, we use other tools to help really identify problems before you get to production. So folks don't have to spend their nights and weekends doing rollbacks. We can actually get it out there safely for them.
Excellent. Thanks for explaining that. The theme for today's discussion is the free community edition of Harness CD. But before we go there, I want to also understand from you, how have you seen the evolution of continuous delivery? Because when we do talk about we talk about CI/CD, and depending on who you talk to, one will say, "Hey, CD is incomplete without CI." So first of all, talk about how things have changed over time, and how do you look at it holistically?
So those of us with enough gray hair to have seen this come through, I think there's definitely been that evolution that you talk about. And for many organizations, they come to us with what they call CI/CD, but it's really sort of CI plus, right? It's CI with a whole bunch of scripting or automation. Some of it is sort of first gen legacy that they've been pulling along. They've added better build and test, but the deploy still feels like an afterthought. It feels like a bolt-on. And so we encourage organizations to sort of flip that mentality and really figure out how you're going to do that deploy, the full continuous delivery, and to make that your anchor point. Because when you get CD right, true, world-class CD, and we have a great maturity model that we help walk customers through on what that looks like. When CD becomes the anchor instead of CI, it helps you pull in a lot of the other things that have been bolt-ons, like how you're doing observability and how you're thinking about security and how you're thinking about resiliency. All of that starts to become easier to solve for at scale when CD becomes the anchor. And so breaking apart that CI is not CD, they are two different things. We talk about them as an industry. We talk about them together a lot. But folks that are truly world-class at this do think about them separately.
If you look at Harness CD, can you talk about the scope of Harness CD? When you look at cloud native, it's already very complicated. So talk about how you make it easy for them, so that when it comes to whether it's observability, whether it's come to security, and they most of these things go hand in hand.
I think you make some good points that the cloud native environments, and especially as companies start to get to multi-cloud and start to get to, we've been talking about hybrid cloud for 10 years, but now we're actually seeing more and more of that in reality. And you've got everything from sort of homegrown virtualization up through enterprise VMware deployments that may run Java. You've got serverless, you've got containers in the cloud and Kubernetes spanning multiple cloud providers. How do you deploy to that? How do you deliver to that? How do you ensure that you've got, as an operations team, or as an SRE type role, that you really deeply understand what you're deploying and where? And again, back to that word confidence, it's one thing to be able to do it quickly. It's another thing to be able to do it with confidence in the middle of a production workday. And I think that's really where Harness sets itself apart in a major way from the DIY solutions, and many of the commercial solutions that are out there today that do come at it from the CI perspective, right? And so support for all those different types of environments that I mentioned, all the different legacy and cloud native environments, being able to pull that together in either a visual representation, in sort of a pipeline builder in Harness CD, Or if you prefer, sort of the infrastructure as code, more programmatic view of it, we support that as well. And really meeting customers where they are, not just in terms of how they want to manage the environments and the delivery, but sort of what generation and combination of ingredients they're trying to put together. And that is, fundamentally when people come to us with CD problems, those are the problems. And when they compare it to how they're doing it today, it very much can be a night and day difference.
How different will it be from Harness CD, the free community edition? Who can use it? Of course, we'll talk about the licensing part as well, but I just want to understand what all people can do with it. What is the ultimate goal behind releasing it?
It's a fully featured version of Harness. Today, the majority of our customers use our SaaS solution. We're not strangers to downloadable software or sort of on-premise versions of things. And as you might expect, some of our larger customers or big agencies tend to like to run things on-prem or in their own more private environments. And so we've supported that type of model for years. And like I said, there's those two drivers. We don't feel that people should have to compromise on their CD or go through some CI patchwork to approximate CD because they didn't have a free available option. And so we wanted to solve that problem for people. On the other side, it really is with our larger customers, like I mentioned, making it as easy as possible for them to collaborate with us on how we're innovating, on how we're developing, accelerating features, integrating with some of these other open source projects that they rely on. And when you've got open repos in GitHub, and when you've got your engineers out there, in the community working on that together, you can get to the desired outcome faster.
And now let's talk about the choice of license, which, not the choice of license, but, it's the community edition is available under a source available license versus, your Harness components are open source. Why you chose this approach?
So I think when you think back to the goals that we set forth to solve for, right? One is reducing cost or availability of world-class CD. We've accomplished that, right? It's open in GitHub. You can go download it. You can use it for free. On the other side, our largest customers, we don't have to get into some big complicated code access and NDAs and other things, that we're able to collaborate in the open, and anyone can evaluate, does the Harness product at the code level meet their requirements, security requirements, other requirements. So those were important things for us to go solve for. On the flip side, we wanted to ensure that some of the things that tend to happen to great open source projects, didn't affect our customers' ability to continue to get value from Harness, right? And so we selected the Polyform license, which gives our users, our customers, the things that they're looking for. It's free to use, free to download. It's in open repositories, easy to collaborate on, right? It checks all those boxes, and it gives us the ability to have confidence to continue to invest in this from a commercial perspective.
Are you also kind of like envisioning to build a community around this, free edition, or it will kind of remain a project, where Harness, makes the source code available? I just want to understand the collaboration part.
Yeah, so we have a robust community around our CI solution, right? So we've integrated the drone CI project into the Harness CI solution, and there's a great, healthy, robust community around Harness CI and around drone, and we certainly are making the investment in community, right? Building a team there to make sure that people that want to come together around not just Harness CD now, as we've opened that up to the world, but around CI and around harness feature flags and cost management, all the other things that we're trying to help solve for our customers. We think the community is, essential to gain the awareness and the education and the credibility to help people be successful with all the things that we're trying to help them with.
Is there also any kind of synergy between the free community edition and the commercial one, that if somebody is using the free and they want to use, how does that work? Is it like a totally different product, they have to just move from that, or you can just simply migrate or upgrade?
There are certainly some different experiences when you're running it locally versus when you're running it in the SaaS environment, but we've tried to make it as seamless as possible to go both directions. That if someone is using the SaaS version and decides, hey, for this project or in this environment, or just because my needs have changed, I want to switch to the community edition, you are going to find overwhelming parity of experience, and we wanted to make that seamless for folks wherever we could.
What's in the pipeline for Harness in 2022?
So we're in a real period of rapid growth. We just crossed 500 employees. We're adding rapidly to our list of enterprise customers and agencies and folks all over the world that are taking advantage of the Harness platform, both for CD, like we've been discussing, as well as for CI and for our other modules that we continue to add to the platform. And our focus really is going to be on helping make our customers successful and giving them what they need. And as the definition of DevOps and as the definition of what modern software delivery looks like continues to evolve, we want to be at the forefront of that. And so you're going to see us continue to lead, not just in our approach to the things that exist, but continue to innovate into the future.
Scott, thank you so much for, of course, taking time out today and talk about Harness, and of course and we also touched upon the larger problem with CI and CD, and also how Harness is helping those customers in their journey, and of course the release of this community edition. And as usual, I would love to have you back on the show, but thanks for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. Can't wait to come back.